On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be having a look at the Tron Legacy. We're looking at the Impulse Projection powered by Impulse Projection. We're looking at Deluxe Sam Flynn. One of the larger figures from the Tron Legacy figures. This has an interesting gimmick with a try me button, but we will certainly wait until we open that up before we have a look at it. Impulse Projection. Interesting. On the back, it's really just a larger version of the 3 3/4 inch figures. It doesn't say anything, it just says, you know, contains button cell batteries, talking about recycling it. I mean, it does contain the contents: 1 Deluxe Sam Flynn, 1 identity disc, 1 baton. Sadly, it doesn't look like it's got a base, which would have been nice if it actually had a base. But at any rate, of course, it does look like he speaks as well. So, been looking forward to actually getting this guy. I don't know about the other 3, because I think there's only 4 in the Deluxe wave. This one actually seemed interesting enough. Based maybe on how much I like this figure, I might pick up the other 3. But let's not wait any longer. Let's get this opened up, and we will have ourselves a look at the Tron Legacy Deluxe Sam Flynn. Stay tuned. And now that we've got Deluxe Sam Flynn out of package, let's have a look at the figure. If you're looking for the identity disc, unlike the 3 3/4 inch figures, the Deluxe figures at least have a section on the back where you can put the identity disc onto. So if you don't necessarily want them on display holding their discs, at least you can put them out of the way. I do like that quite a bit. His identity disc can be held, not the easiest really. He's got these hooked hands. You kind of have to sandwich them in there. I'll just show you guys the hand. As you can see, the hand is hooked. Let's actually try the other hand here. I think the idea is you're supposed to try to sandwich it like, there we go. You're supposed to hold it so you can actually get his fingers wrapped around it. There we go. As well, he also does come with his baton. Put into his other hand. Like so. And there you've got Sam Flynn with both his identity disc and his baton. The figure actually is really nice. I don't necessarily know if I like the fact that it's a little bit larger than most most figures, at least of the movie variety, tend to be about 6 inches. Sam Flynn here stands at about 7 inches tall. He is a little bit taller than what you would expect to find on the with a larger movie scale figure. Would have been nice if they had just done it a little bit shorter, so it was just a 6-inch scale figure. The baton, there's a little clip on his leg here that you can actually peg the baton into place. You can get that out of the way. You can also get, of course, his identity disc out of the way as well. So everything on the figure can be concealed, which I like. Details are pretty good. You got nice black. They've got more like you can see with the larger scale figures that there's detail there that, you know, you couldn't quite make out on a smaller scale figure. Like, for example, if I bring in the Sam Flynn from the 3 3/4 inch line, same principle, but certainly you get a lot more detail on the deluxe version of him. In the way of his articulation, I'll save the gimmick for the last. There is no articulation in the head, and there's a reason for it, but there is articulation in the shoulders. You can fully rotate them, bend them in and out. You can rotate the arm, the bicep. You can bend the elbow. Rotate the hand. No waist articulation or upper torso articulation, but you can bend the legs back and forth. Not very well, though, I might add. And it's probably just because of the way that this area here is sculpted. But you can rotate the leg. You can bend the knee, which is extremely stiff. You can rotate the leg. You can bend the foot, and you can also rotate it as well. So, having said that, there is actually a little button. If I lift up his forearm for a second, there's actually a button right there that activates his feature on the visor. There's actually two buttons. There is an E and there's what looks to be a 1. The E is the try me button, as well as then E is the full on feature. It does two different things, and depending on how you like it, you might set one dial always on one over the other. If we have it left on E, what it does is it's the try me button, so when you press it, both the chest and the visor itself will light up. So I'll just press the button here.
Some things are worth the risk.
And what you've got is you've got a really cool light up feature where you'll actually see somewhat of a motion still of Sam talking. I mean, obviously it's not 100%, but for what it is, though, it is pretty neat. Try it again.
My name is Sam Flynn.
And of course his chest and everything lights up all at once. On the other end of the scale, though, when you switch it over to 1 or whatever that button is, it looks like it is 1, or it could be just a dash. When you flick it up, there is also what looks to be an off in the middle, but when you flick it all the way up, what it then does is you press it once and the chest lights up. Press it a second time.
My name is Sam Flynn.
And you've got both the chest and the visor working independently. So if you just want the chest lit up and you don't want anything else happening, you can just press it once and the chest will light up and eventually turn off. It actually stays on rather long, which I like too. And press it twice and you've got the visor lighting up. It seems like pretty neat technology that they've implemented that into the figures. It's not, I mean, it's not 100%. If I press it again.
We gotta work together. It's the only way.
But it still looks pretty neat though. The sound is quite loud actually, and actually that's the one thing I have problems with the figure, is the fact that some of the lines are rather quiet and then some of them are rather loud.
Where am I? Am I on the grid? Some things are worth the risk. This is it. Come on.
Kind of also sounds like Christian Bale. But it is a neat figure. I don't know if I like the fact that it's this large. If it had just been a tad smaller as like a 6-inch figure, that you could at least put it in with the other figures, you know, with your other displays, it just seems really large. But I do like the light up feature. It definitely is something that you would never have seen, I think, on toys before, and I think it's.
We gotta work together. It's the only way.
I think it is pretty cool indeed, though. The Deluxe Sam Flynn, I'm going to give a 6.5 to. It's got a neat enough feature to it. Don't know if I would pick up the other 3, because I don't think the other 3, I think the other 3 are just light ups. Sam Flynn, I believe, is the only one that has the light up visor. But if you can find him, pick him up. That was a Toy Spot. Today we were looking at the Tron Legacy Deluxe figures. We were looking today at Sam Flynn with a light up visor. What do you want to say?
Some things are worth the risk.
Exactly. So that's why you should pick up this guy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.